Have you ever been asked that dreaded, open-ended interview question, "So why don't you tell us about yourself?" Okay. Our first inclination might be to just ramble off our resume and highlight all the jobs we've ever held since the dawn of time. This makes for an incredibly boring conversation. There is a much better formula to follow to share your story in a way that fosters connection and inspires others to take action. Hey everyone, it's Emily here with Bossed Up, and first I have to give credit where credit is due. Most of the content in today's video has been adapted by the work of Marshall Ganz, a Harvard professor and lifelong political organizer who I had the great pleasure of studying with as a fellow at the Kennedy School of Government. You can find out more about Marshall Ganz and all of his inspiring work at leadingchangenetwork.org. Now, when you're in a job interview, or if you're in a one-on-one networking meeting, which I highly recommend doing for all you job seekers out there, or if you're getting up in front of an audience to give a speech, you are best off by starting by explaining who the heck you are and giving some context to the conversation by answering the implicit question, why should I be listening to you? Sharing your personal story establishes your credibility and your relatability by giving the audience a sense of why you care and why they should care too. It provides tremendously important context to the rest of your conversation, and when done right, can leave your audience open and receptive to everything else you have to say. Here is how to share your personal story in a way that fosters connection and inspires action. Number one thing to remember, tell me a story. Yes, that means a narrative format with a beginning, middle, and end. Take your audience on a journey with you. Just please avoid the chronological rundown of every single job you've ever taken in your life. That list format is boring and it doesn't actually tell us anything about who you are and what you value. Which brings me to this next key point. Show me some struggle. Think about it. In all great stories, the main character faces a challenge, makes a choice, experiences some kind of outcome, and learns a lesson along the way. It's challenge, choice, outcome, then lesson. Use that formula to think back to a choice moment in your life when your values were tested, when you chose to walk away from that job, when you chose to speak up despite being afraid, when you chose to start something new because you felt it had to be done. And remember, you want to choose the challenge that you're sharing strategically so that it actually relates to the topic at hand, or it demonstrates a value of yours that is relevant to this discussion. When you share vulnerably in this way and get candid about the struggles you've overcome, you come across as more human and more authentic. You allow us to see ourselves in your story, and this creates a sense of connection. Now, I could talk forever about the research behind that link between vulnerability and connection, but nobody tackles this topic better than Brené Brown, a researcher and storyteller whose amazing viral TED Talk on the power of vulnerability is a must-see. My final key takeaway for how to share your story powerfully is to invite me into it. Wrap up your personal story with a connection to all of us. Bring me, your audience, into the picture by connecting your personal experience with a broader narrative, a story that's told about all of us. Now remember, us, in this case, can mean lots of different things. It really depends on who you are and who your target audience is. Now for me, it could mean all people of Latino descent. It could mean all women. I could be talking to all people who care about career and vocational training, or all people who are obsessed with their dog. He's just so cute. Consider your audience and what characteristics and values you might share. It can help make clear that your personal story is indicative of a broader story. By sharing your personal story in this way, you'll demonstrate your values through the telling of a very real choice moment that you've faced along the way. And in doing so, you'll not only invite others to see themselves in your story, but you'll also inspire action. Download today's corresponding worksheet in the blog post below right now and start crafting your personal story for the next time that you want to share, inspire, and connect with others. And if you feel as blown away as I did when I first learned these strategies, take a minute now to share this video on Facebook, Twitter, and via email with the folks that you think would benefit from it. Thanks as always for tuning in, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button now so we can keep bossin'.